Hi, I'm Tracy Radley and welcome to Transmission Tuesday, Light Language Healing Activation, helping you on your ascension journey. I'm coming to you again from Queensland in Australia this week. This will be my last video from this current location. Up until last night, I didn't know where I was sleeping and moving to tomorrow, but I have now understanding and a booking for Wednesday and Thursday night, which is awesome, and we'll just see Wednesday or Thursday where I get guided to stay on Friday night and for the following week while I'm still up in this state. It's been pretty it's weird to say intense because, you know, intensity is kind of abnormal now, but I have noticed with a lot of people I've been talking to recently, and myself included this last week, there's been some really big stuff going on. We've been letting go collectively of a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the galactics, and there's also been more people actually stepping into this journey, some knowingly, some on the verge of knowing. So, you know, it does impact all of us because as a team we are making this shift, like I said, knowingly or not. Something that came up with a session I had with a lady this morning was this is a soul-inspired journey. This is a soul-led journey now we're stepping into. So some of the challenges that people come up with is the things I used to enjoy don't give me pleasure anymore. But I don't know the new things that give me pleasure. So, like, what do? It's really frustrating when you're in that stuck place. And it's that transition from, so say, earthly pleasures, which there's nothing wrong with at all, as opposed to I'm in this transition state and I know at some point there's going to be other things I enjoy that fulfill me in much different ways, but I don't know what they are yet. So I just feel in this limbo and I just feel like quite down a lot of the time. And I know because I've been there myself, I have my moments when I'm like that too, when, you know, singing and dancing and being sociable used to be part of my lifestyle. As much as I had just as much time on my own years ago before I stepped further into this path, I also had a social side, which for years now has literally been on the back burners, and I've just been doing like what I've needed to do for my bigger missions, my bigger role, my own path. And what's really important to know is this is the soul leading us. We're not going to have exactly the same connections with the things that we used to enjoy that used to lift us because we're moving into a different space now. For a lot of you, you may be experiencing that maybe downloads and shifts and triggers are going off more frequently than others. Like years ago, people, or even till recently, people used to get months in between a big shift, you know, and then you get time to integrate and move on. That doesn't happen so much for people anymore. For me, this has been straight after this, straight after for years now. So like this up and down and purge, sleep, energize is actually normal for me. I have no issue with it now. It gets frustrating at times, but I'm like, okay, you know, I've been doing it for so long, this is normal now. So, but it's like, how do you move through that uncomfortable stage of when you're not either end? And what it is that I found useful is we have to find the blessings in the really small stuff. It's the fact that you have the roof over your head. It's the fact that you can get outside and you're in a safe environment to walk around. It's maybe that you have loved ones around, you know, that understand you. Maybe it's also the fact you don't have people around so you can focus on your path and you say thank you, because it would be so much harder to do this if I had the responsibilities for other people as well. Like it flips back and forth. I have people that have been on this journey for quite some time with families and they just like, oh, I just want to have like time to myself, like not have to be responsible for them. And then you have people like me on the other side at times and I'm like, I just wish I had people around because I'm in this all the time on my own. I don't have people to actually give me that distraction, to take the focus off me, I should say. So, you know, either way, you know, there's not really a grass is greener on the other side. It's just the experiences we've chosen to take on. But in saying that, it's like what you need to do is focus on what is the blessing right now? What can you find to be grateful for right now? Maybe it's the fact that you found this video and you can find love and peace and joy and beauty in its own way just by being able to find this video or reading a specific book. Yes, maybe you used to be more social, but now you've been pulled in. But you've been pulled in because you need to grow. You need this time, you need this space to grow. You can't keep doing those same things to keep yourself busy and distracted if you're getting called to go within. Now there is, there's times this will come back into balance, and you go up and down through stages that you're on your real highs and then the trigger goes off or another download comes through and down you go again. This is the wave. What we need to do is find that happy medium within that. So within that, with the extremes of going, I used to like to be sociable, now I'm antisocial, can't be around people even though I want to be around people, I'm too tired, or their vibe doesn't align with me. The sound of being, in public places, sometimes the transport is too much of a high vibration when you're really shifting, a lot of stuff. Especially early on, it gets you more potently. It's also like being in environments where there's a lot of people. Maybe you used to like bands and music, and as much as you like that, if you're in an environment where there's a lot of people and a lot of other energies, when you're shifting, it's not necessarily a healthy environment for you. So there's a part of you that craves this because you want that joy back in your life. But then the other part of you is keeping you still and at home, for example, because it's not actually a safe environment for you to be in at the moment for your soul growth. So on the material plane, obviously, as a lot of us have been living over the years, we do things logically, sometimes inspired, and we just go on that type of path. When it's soul-led, we don't necessarily have the conscious awareness of what is good for our bigger picture. So the best that we can do is say, as I do, and I just surrender and say, like, the higher part of me knows better than I do, as in my logical brain knows. So I will trust, even though things that I do, places I go, make no logical sense to me, I trust that bigger part of me has got my back. It knows what's going on. And if my brain needs to know, I'll find out. I just have to learn to trust and surrender on that path, because it's a soul journey that I'm following now. It is soul expansion we're here to do. As I mentioned today to the lady I was talking to, it's like, for those, obviously if you're believing in past lives and clearing out karma and soul contracts, if you're on that side of things, when you step into this soul path, to this awakening path, you're going to be led away from what the logic knows that's safe and normal, secure, that's been programmed, with fear and control, all the anxieties and stresses and those type of things. But it's to push us to grow as a soul from place to place. So for example, I go to different locations across the globe because I'm being told to go there. I'm being led from within to go there. There is growth for me as a soul there. There is bigger collective and multidimensional work for me to do in those areas, which is bigger than my physical self. So this is what I've surrendered to. This is what I believe in. It's that I have a bigger purpose, that my brain is like still too limited to see that bigger picture, because it continues to unfold with every shift that I make, and I've done my best to surrender into this path the best that I can. And the soul path is releasing us from those, say, karma experiences, or putting us into or out of our comfort zone to grow more as a being, which is definitely not what the ego wants, which is definitely not what our old programming wants, because it wants to stay safe, it wants to stay small, it wants to stay with what it knows, even though if it's not necessarily the best thing for us. So there's this contradiction going on between the logical path, the safe path, the programs that we know, what we've always done, conscious and obviously a majority of it subconscious, as opposed to the soul is trying to bring us into new places so we can take that old stuff out, conscious and non-conscious stuff. So like I said, we have this conflict and we have to find that happy balance. When you go into this spiritual awakening or the self-awakening, it's like you're choosing your spiritual path. You're choosing to expand as a soul. Soul journey. This isn't human life journey at this point in time for some of you. It's basically soul journey. And in the physical, it's day-by-day survival. Because when you're in it deep, there's not much else you can do except get yourself through that day. And that's perfectly fine, perfectly normal. It's part of the process, it's part of the phase of waking up. But understanding it is for a bigger purpose that is going to serve you better. So when you can understand that it's a soul journey you're taking, it's scary, it's uncomfortable, it brings your shit up. You push other people's buttons to bring their shit up. This is it. This is what we came here to do. We came to break through these programs, break through these patterns. If we keep it smooth all the time, it ain't gonna happen, okay? We're all warriors. We're all here leading the way to help others by leading by example. We have to do this work ourselves. Now, I'm not saying the material world doesn't have its place, and I'm not saying, don't care for your physical, because it's definitely not what I'm saying, but it's surrendering to, we're in the place, or some of you are in the place that you're still in the biggest part of the transition or early part of the transition. You don't know what's the joyous part. You don't know the old things, like I said, that don't used to bring you joy, don't anymore. So what do? Remember, this is a soul journey. Remember, there's parts that need to be uncomfortable, because in the bigger picture, you are growing and expanding as a soul. When you shift enough, you get your intuition stronger, your gifts come out stronger, your knowing comes out stronger. Then this and this connect better. You lead by the heart. The heart says, or the soul says, the inspiration says, the knowing says, the passion says. The head takes the action, takes the physical action. But there's stages where we do get pulled offline to just be on our own, in our own space. So we just have to remember that, and in those spaces we're doing our biggest work. We're pulled offline for a reason. Everything is always provided to us to keep us going in our physical form. It may not be what we want, but it will be exactly what we need, and we're always okay. But it can be uncomfortable. It's not what the mind wants it to be. It's not how it wants it to look, and it doesn't arrive the way in the package that we want it to come all the time. So we just have to surrender to that. Soul is leading. We are in a new energy frame. We're in a new creation galactically. We are leading the way. We don't have all the pieces of puzzle. We don't know it. We're like fumbling our way through as we go. This is new evolution that we are creating. So, nobody's doing this perfectly. It's perfectly imperfect. We're all doing our best, the best that we can. So just hang in there. In saying about the material and physical side, there is the space that comes together. So if you're in the dark, the isolated stages, when you go in and out of those, look for those small blessings. You've been given that opportunity to simply focus, clear, and lift yourself higher. That is your blessing. Yes, it may not be joyous and fun, like going out and doing fun things that you used to do, whether it's, like I said, dancing, sports, whatever it is, however you used to get your joy. If that's not aligning anymore, you have to just at least look and notice the blessing that I'm given a space now to grow. This is the blessing. Obviously, if I'm giving myself this space, I'm loving myself enough to have this space, and I'm ready to grow, to take the next step. What do I do with my physical? I do my best to love it through the process. Sometimes it's the case of just getting out of bed is an issue. If you can get yourself to the shower, scrub yourself with like some Himalayan salts or something. It will help with the shifts. Use some aromatherapy oils if that helps. Something else I know people struggle with, and I have too, obviously being on my own, and I am a very affectionate person, touchy-feely, lovey, just that's how I've always been. And being so isolated, that feminine nurturing side is really suppressed at times, or it has been suppressed at times, because I've been in such survival mode just to survive in my physical form. And what I found years and years ago with my dark night of the soul in a city, but I couldn't speak to people, and I'm doing stuff constantly, hit after hit after hit after hit, like I was in blackness, continually moving stuff. I actually started going to have massages again, but it was in a different form. It was to be physically touched, nurturing, nothing sexual, nothing like that. We're human beings. Touch and nurturing is so important to us. Obviously some more than others, but it's essential to remember we do actually have this body as well. So part of that, and I know people forget, is the physical touch. There's the hug, the nurturing, the feeling safe, the feeling, protected side of things. There's times that I turned up to the massage place and I would have paid them just to hold my hand. Just to know somebody was there. I didn't have to talk about anything, but just please hold my hand. I'm happy to pay you to do that. because it was a need in me that wasn't being fulfilled. The reason I'm saying this is because I can feel there's a lot of you yearning, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. Maybe I'll trigger it now going, yeah, that side of me has been suppressed. I really miss just a secure hug. That 5 minutes where someone can really embrace me and I can just go, oh, okay, I can just have a breather here. I'm safe. Someone's got me. While we can definitely get it from our angelic teams, we also need it in the physical as another tool for ourselves. And it's not like, and it's not the, here's a hug. It's the embrace, hold, safe zone. It's something that I give to people, but it's also something I miss because I'm not around people so much. But it's a very important part to me because I understand the importance and the difference between here's a hug, here's me holding you. Like, again, with some people that's uncomfortable, but again, that's something we can move through. So I don't know why this is coming up. I don't know why I'm saying this or if any of what I've said has made sense or connected, but hopefully it connects with you somewhere. Physical body is important. Love yourself through these processes. The things that didn't bring you joy before, it doesn't mean they won't come back. It may just come back in a different form, because while you're moving out this baggage we're carrying, you're connecting more and more, or opening up the opportunity to align with your real soul, heart, passions. That's where your joy is going to be. That's where you're going to just be living more in that bliss space. Obviously, we still have our up and downs, but you're going to be moving further towards that. We just have that icky bit in between, and sometimes that icky bit can be over quite a few years. Maybe for some people it's a few months if you're, that's where your soul path is. But wherever you're at, you're okay. This is soul-led. Please remember that. You're doing a great job. Love your body as well. Nurture your body. Be careful what you think. Take note of where your mind's going. We all have those times when the negativity comes in, but catch it before you spiral too far down. Okay? It's okay to hit those bottom points sometimes because it's necessary. But if you're observant enough, when you're waking up and you start to see this pattern that you go, okay, this is one bad thing, then I'll bring in another, then another. Try and catch yourself earlier, okay? Distract yourself to do something different. The emotions, let the emotions come out because it's clearing. Do not project your anger or any of those things at other people, but let the anger come out. Let it burn through your system if it needs to. I tend to burn mine energetically out. And then if it's something that needs to be expressed, then I do it from a clearer space without that emotional trigger attachment to it. I can speak it in a truth that's clear and pure. But in with the emotions, again, don't suppress them because you're just going to build up, bottle up, explode, cause physical and mental issues for your health, but like with your health potentially, because you're not letting it come out. Do not then dramatize it by going too far into it and making it more than it needs to be, and keep putting yourself in that loop pattern. Oh, this happened and this happened, this happened. Next person, you bring the same thing up and let that cycle come through, right? Don't let yourself be the victim. Catch yourself when you're responsible for you. So let the emotions come out. Do not suffocate them and suppress them. Do not dramatize them. Okay, there are times this is going to happen because it's our programming. We just have to be aware and move ourselves through it. Each time making that step faster. If we don't catch it as fast as we'd like to, love ourselves anyway and say, okay, next time I'll be a little bit more aware, or I'll try to be more aware. Do my best. All right, I'm going to do a light language transmission. It's just going to be for alignment, for love, for your inner connection. Okay, I'm sending love to you now. I can't physically be there to nurture you and hug you, though I really wish I could, and hold you and be that safe one for you in the physical form, but I'm definitely sending it to you now through this transmission and through these videos. Okay, so if you want to close your eyes and open your heart, I'm going to bring these sound and toning vibrations through using whoever and whatever chooses to come that we need for our highest good. Okay, here we go. Miasi salia tuta susa lamakation tasusa hialala sesimiko datan sansa sasu makashente tuta sansa leke sunta hua sansa leke suta susa makashenti. Ishime Anuna Susa Sula Meka to Sansa. Siala mea tota susalma kashante tota masusalea sansa hula lele sensika do shanta make sala kashanta tota se kita niata tako sansala ke shanta salula sansa seluka sansa salula sansa salula sansa salula sansa masusa sansa Sialula lula lula la duda duske miuta sule kaluanse sia tutan sula e uta sale utan serito mio sante salula se siota sun saloka santa masu susamaka santa leantato maselia calo ante asula otansa calula silula seato ta sunta kashiato saloke siato ta hula seselaka la sante tia sun saluka Kalo sante shahule santa se ita ma uta sa wala se to ka sanne shunta ula san saluka santa shunte miasulla san saluka santa huhalan san seluka sante shewalo santo san salaka santa masusa tota santa ulandega santa sheatasa Hua sandere seluka mare tota sande shia tota susalola sun salaka sunta shunta sesi siluka sun salua san saluka sunsa hua sente sulaka sante sialo shanta shiluka sa masuse saluka salaketse seotan sula salikota te sunta sheshumaka san salaka sante Hiwalo santa shahule, hiotasa, saluka san salake santa shurnato teo santa sante shunta sunsa, masu salake santa seluka salake setita, masu salake sentiasha, shawalini o santa shiata shalamakana nakanaha. Okay, there's the transmission for you. This has been a pretty random video. I actually don't know what I've said from the start up until now, even in English. So hopefully it aligns with you if you've found this video. If you've got any comments, please pop them below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. If you're watching this from the Higher Self channel, please come across to Tracy Radley Direct. And what else is there? There's a PayPal exchange button if you get benefit from these videos and want me to keep doing and keep this channel going so I can connect with as many of you and help as many of you as I can through the videos. It is greatly appreciated. Like I said, I don't get to work on the paid side of it that often because I am moving around doing this galactic stuff and, you know, constantly working in these other dimensions. So it is appreciated, but as you know with me, not essential, it is what it is. If financially you can't contribute and you're getting benefit from it, please pay it forward in some way that's unique to you. Remember to share your light however it works out for you, the best way that it comes through for you. You know, we all need to pay it forward in our own way. So like I said, if financially you can't exchange and you don't feel aligned to, that's okay. Just remember, pay it forward when the opportunity arises with somebody else that comes, you know, comes your way. All right, share some knowledge, share one of those embraces just to give somebody that 5 minutes, okay? Acknowledge who they are as a soul and say, I got you. take a rest for a moment. All right. If you're interested in mentoring for your journey, obviously this is something I do. If you connect with my vibe, feel free to send me an email. The details are below and we can check the alignment out and I can give you some information on how I work. It is uniquely tailored for everybody. I understand, no one person is the same, no soul journey is the same. So I start where you're already at, and it's a purely guided process. Like your soul talks to my soul and I just bring the stuff through for you. And we work through this together step by step. So if you're interested, the details are below. Sending you a lot of love, a lot of light. Have a wonderful week. Bye.